Hey, everybody, welcome back. We have Ryan Reichert and Lisa Sander here with Our Healer, Our Protector. And it's just Lisa and I today. So we're going to get into a few things. And Lisa, I think you wanted to kick us off. You were opening one of your devotionals up and had quite the tale.
Yes, I want to read this all to you. Today, put on God's grace and love and leave your shame behind. So we want to do our own podcast today without any guests. We want to show you how far we've come and what life changes through our healing process has happened. But this is awesome. I just want to talk about fresh clothes. Put on the new man, which was created according to God in true righteousness and holiness. Without the grace of God, we may look at our lives and be dismayed by our shortcomings. It would be overwhelming to come face to face with our failures and have no way of fixing them. God, in His great mercy, provides the answers to everything we need. He offers us complete transformation, not because we aren't good enough, but because He is perfect and He wants us to experience the abundant life He intended. When you surrender your life to Jesus, you are made new. When you can set aside your old ways of living and rejoice in your salvation, instead of being bound to your failures, you can claim Christ's righteousness on your own. You are perfect because He is perfect. When you feel discouraged, remember the redemption and newness are always available to you in Christ. And you guys, everything that's happened since our podcast with people, I can't tell you how far I've come. I sold my house and moved into my new place, which I'm really excited because Grace and I had friends and family to help us, and we got to make it our place. And it's a smaller house. It's like a mini version of our old house, except we don't have a basement, which I love. But what is so cool is Grace and I are spending time together because we made it our own and it's smaller. So we are with each other, and smaller houses are not so bad because you get to spend time with the people in it. Was it tough on Grace moving? Absolutely. She's like, my childhood is done, all my memories. And I told her, you know what's amazing, Grace? Look at the good stuff. From now on, starting your senior year, you are going to have changes throughout life. When Jack went to college, he moved every year and never came back home, just at Christmas time. And I think one summer, I said, from here on out, you could be moving yearly and getting married, having children, and you don't know where that's going to take you. So all of these changes are preparing you for the future. And I'm super excited. And I have to tell you, going through all these changes for myself and selling a house, like I feel like 100 pounds has been lifted off of me. I get to start my journey new. I'm fresh with everything. I think my cortisol levels come down, which I don't know what that feels like, but it lets go of a lot of things, including women at my age, like going through menopause. It lets go some of the weight. And I get to focus on myself having a smaller house too. So I want to talk about the positive stuff of downsizing and changing to that too, because now I have a gym, I have a pool, which I had at Ryan's too. So now I got two places, but this place mows my lawn. I don't have to shovel my driveways anymore. Like all of that's taken care of, and it puts less on my shoulders so I can enjoy life. So those are the positive things.
Yeah, I mean, listening to you, Lisa, and all that, it really, to me, I think about when I was rebaptized back in February, and it's, with change, there comes a lot of fear. We're kind of going back and forth, and, that devotional that you had, and I'll have to throw my glasses on here too. We're going to show our age a little bit as we need glasses to read, but that's all right. And God only knows when the devil comes for you a second chance at life. We have the emergency numbers on page 23 and 24. And I always make the joke of like, who you going to call, and not the Ghostbusters. But it was really a lot of the things that you were talking about got into, some of the stuff here in Jeremiah 33:3, when you need to talk to God and you're going to call him collect, right? That's kind of just like, the daily communication that we have with them. Sometimes that's a collect call, and, we're really wanting, him right now, maybe for us, maybe it's a little selfish, and that can happen because it's scary. And, Psalm 23, when you're feeling lonely, probably was just like for you and for Grace, right? You were leaving behind so much life that you had lived in the old residence, probably roughly 14 years, I think, when you talk about
Yeah.
it. And, some of that other stuff in it, Matthew 6, 19 to 34, when we worry. And, those are just three examples of where we can go, in the Bible to just help get our minds wrapped around some of that change that we're going through. And, it's always that case. I find myself when I'm kind of, irritable and discontent, and everything's getting away from me. The next book that is in the works isn't working out, right? The editorial review, the editor sends you a bunch of stuff back, and it's just like, we got to make all these changes, because me as a new reader, like, it doesn't make sense. I haven't read any of your other books. So what if I just pick this one up off the shelf? And at first it hurts a little bit, right? Like that pride, that ego that we haven't worked on, or maybe haven't put the work in, at least this morning, in our routine, getting our wins in right off the bat. It kind of puts a little chink in your armor. But I know for me today, it really didn't hurt that bad. May and I got on a walk this morning, so she was happy. We sat and read our Bible. We're in Jeremiah, so we're still in the Old Testaments. And got to the gym before I started the day, and with coaching with Ben Newman. And, now we're on a call before, we get ready to head to the airport and head to Nashville for some exciting stuff. And so I guess to me, as you've described in just kind of what you went through the last couple of weeks for you and Grace with moving, is like, that's a big thing. But like for just the normal day-to-day stuff, that can still get away, just in itself. If we don't stick with our routines, I say discipline over feelings. Ben likes to use, his standard over feelings. And it's so very true, where when we get away from that, like you hit it on the head. I mean, you're like, some of the goodness of moving, now you have a gym right there in your neighborhood. You have a swimming pool, at least for the next 6 weeks before the snow starts to come here in Minnesota.
Mhm.
But, it's kind of one of those things, very exciting. And not everything's always going to be shiny and new. So like you have what you're going through right now, which was scary at first. And now you're in the kind of the exciting, make it a home, make it a new, and so on and so forth. And then somebody from like me living here for the last, I don't know, well, in this new 2-bedroom I got, like coming up on over a year, it's like, what is just the normal routine, and having the discipline to stick to that routine. So like, the hard days don't win because we get to choose our hard.
And I have to tell you, there's 3 things that happened to me moving in here. And now when I think about my things come in threes, I think God shows us every once in a while, and showing Grace, because she'll make some comments like, oh, why you shouldn't have picked this place. But okay, so 3 things happen. My girlfriends came over, and we used my grandma's champagne glasses that I had, and I was washing them, and I'm like, Grandma, I'm like, I love using your glasses. And if one breaks, it's okay, because we're using them and I have other ones. And I swear to all of you, one fell over and it broke. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, Grandma, Jesus. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, you know what? I'm okay. There's more up in the cupboard, and they're not sitting in the cupboard, not being used. I'm using them. And then another thing happened. Grace and we don't back up well, and we have a smaller driveway. And there's people on the other side parked on the side street. So I can't curve out of the driveway. I have to go straight back, but not hit the car behind me. There's not a lot of room. So I'm backing up, and I told Grace, because I have intuition sometimes, and I'm like, Grace, watch this. I'm going to do my best, but I'm probably going to hit, because the sprinkler system was on, the sprinkler head. I go, watch, I'm going to probably run over the dang sprinkler head, because I didn't want to hit the car, and I didn't want to hit Grace's car. Well, we're heading to church, and lo and behold, I hit the sprinkler head, and Grace goes, "Oh gosh, it's like a fire hydrant." She goes, "Sir, please gonna flood." I said, "Well, we don't have a basement. So, but it's not gonna flood. It's just on the grass, but it was like a fire hydrant of water coming out." And I said, "Grace, you know what's awesome about this situation? 1 second, I'm gonna get on my app and I'm gonna let them know the sprinkler head went out and it was an emergency." And he goes, "Lisa, this is an emergency. We'll be out there tomorrow." And I go, "Oh, and by the way, ants were coming in from the patio doors and getting to my dog food." Like, and he goes, "No problem. I'll call Plunkett's. Is that the right one? And they'll be there Tuesday." And I'm like, "Grace, this is why everything's okay." And I was calm and I wasn't upset. And I'm like, "We got this." So I was driving the truck, Ryan's truck, not his new one, his one that he gave to Grace and I. And I was meeting my girlfriends, and there was a short pillar behind the truck. I thought I saw it, didn't see it, but I put a little dent in his truck, and I called and told him, and he goes, "It's okay. It's an older truck." Like, and I'm like, "I don't think there was a lot." He found it. I didn't see it. Me and my girlfriends didn't see it, but I'm like, "Okay, like there's my three." And God showed me, Ryan, the way you responded was amazing. And I got people to help me. And that was a little wink from my grandma and God with the glass. And you guys, look at the months. You'll see our interviews with other people. There was times I was very emotional. And I feel so good and how far I've come. And I hope whatever you are going throughout life, and you can see the journey with us and your journey, and how time and take in the good that can change your life. And I'm really happy today.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I mean, I think what you really, to me anyways, as I'm listening to you share, is like truly understanding that like gratitude and everything that happens, good, bad, or indifferent, like shapes how we respond. In a previous life, like I would have, well, think negative, you get negative, right? You would have been like, "Hey, I had a little bit of a mishap, backed the truck up into the thing," and I would have been like, "All right, we got to get it fixed because it needs to look perfect." We're talking about a 16-year-old Chevy Silverado here. The tailgate's all busted up. It's got dents and dings and this and that. But in a previous life, I would have been like, "No, we got to get it back to looking new," even though it's an old truck and it works. It gets down the highway. It's a safe, amazing Chevy, and love it. And yeah, just like you foreshadowed, like with like the sprinkler head, like, running it over on your way. You guys were going to church, like, so like whatever. And, you can easily
Yeah.
contact somebody now. And it's awesome there. And when you talked about your grandmother's glasses, I think about Nina, who we had on the show, and, a couple weeks back, I'm thinking now, as this will air, when her show came out, she was talking about the fancy napkins. And I want to say it was either her mother or grandmother talking about it. And it's so true. It's just like, use it. And your grandma was like, "Well, hey, I'll show you because I was listening," kind of thing. And she knocked one over,
Oh,
and
you just gave me the chills, Ryan.
but
Yes.
that's the truth. Like I just think about it always today. I know we're traveling today, like I said, heading to Nashville. Super exciting. Lisa's not going to want to share this or whatever because she's very humble, but I'm proud of her. It's a photo shoot for some modeling, and it's super exciting, right? So like we're never whatever stage of life we're at that stage, right? And so like pretty awesome to think for her, like, yeah, supermodel material here. So it's awesome that we
I'm just going to
continue.
a photo shoot with people.
Hey,
Mhm.
it's one of those things. It's however we take it in and project it and know that everything that does happen in our life is for the best. And so some of us out there might be going through, some sad, dark times. We might have just lost somebody, either through separation, divorce, death.
Yeah.
Could be a person, could be a pet, could be whatever it is, just like Lisa talking about, Grace's childhood and, where, she spent the last 14 years of her life. But at the same time, like looking at it from the lens of it's change, and it's a good thing because it'll show Grace how, we move on in life or whatever. And at the same time, there's lots of things that are nice to haves now versus an older neighborhood and so on and so forth. And, just like the truck breaking down, I had posted some stuff and, it was on a
Oh
Monday.
yeah, the truck broke down too when I was trying to go to work on Tuesday. Was it
Was it,
Tuesday?
I don't, it
Oh, this
doesn't
has all
matter.
happened in the same week. So Tuesday, I put into gear. I'm trying to reverse it, but of course, I wasn't angled right, so I had to move forward. So I went and hit Grace's car, and all of a sudden I put it in reverse. And I'm like, "What the heck? It's sliding!" And the different vehicles. So like, there's a vehicle that I have that to move the gears is on my right, and then up here is the truck. And I'm like, "Am I in the right car? Am I missing something?" And I called Ryan. I'm like, yeah, it's not going into gear. And so I had to put the emergency brake on. And Ryan's like, we'll get it fixed. And I'm like, first of all, who is this guy? And so I get in Grace's car, and Ryan had a tow truck and picked it up. And vehicles cost money. And actually was, hey, if it's not over $1,000, it's a really good thing for a car. So it wasn't over 1,000. So that was exciting. And look, everything worked out.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I think of the movie Office Space, and the guy's like, sounds like you're having a case of the Mondays. And, the guy was really negative and didn't love his work and all this stuff. And so I was looking at it the opposite. Like, I'm like, sounds good. Let's get this week started. Even if it's something like perfect example, just as you explained, we're talking about, you use Grace's car, I called USAA. So thank USAA. And yeah, within an hour, tow truck was there. I followed them to Miller Chevrolet and Rogers. Super awesome. Love them there. Bought, my truck through them and Annabelle's Jeep. So it's they're a great place to be. But yeah, literally got it fixed in a day and life's back to normal. And yeah, you just
and
look
the
at
other
it.
positive thing, but the other
No,
thing is, thank you, Jesus, it happened in the driveway and not being at a red light. Or then I would be in panic and really late. I was only 10 minutes late for work. But like if I would have been in a different situation, I'd have been more panicked. So like, thank you. Thank you for going out in the driveway. Because it could have changed my whole scenario. So I'm so thankful for everything that has happened when it's happened. And also to show our kids, like I had the opportunity as Grace to be calm and be like, we got this. Like, this is what happens in life. You got to adapt, you got to move around, and everything worked out. And
yeah,
it's
no,
so
I
important for all of you out there.
think that's the probably most important thing in the last 20 minutes is showing, because we're the adults, we're the parents. Our kids will mirror what they see. I know I just spent a week with my dad fishing up at Lake of the Woods. Super awesome, blessed time to have with my dad. He's heading into his 74th trip around the sun here next month. And you just said, hey, like, did not react in such a way that, would cause more panic, and show Grace how to react in these ways. And then the gratitude of just as you reflect further on it and go like, this didn't happen going down the highway at 55 miles an hour. This didn't
Yeah.
happen, at a red light where, all the emotions of other people honking and, all the different things that can happen. No one was hurt, in all of this we talked
Amen to
about. The
that.
only things that were hurt were an old glass, a sprinkler head, and yeah, really nothing else. So
And
that's the
just
thing.
my ankle. I just hurt my ankle. I moved my foot and I just hit my ankle on the chair.
Like right now. Well, there you go.
And
That's not too bad, not too bad at all. But yeah, I love as we reflect and we change, as I love to talk about, Bruce Lee and so on and so forth with his side of, the negativity and how we talk over ourselves, about ourselves, with others and ourselves. And just in all that, if you have gratitude in anything and everything that happens in your life and you can see the good, even in the bad, and you don't allow that negativity in, it will just continue to propel you in that forward momentous. Even if you're saying I was a failure. Well, hey, you know what? Fail forward. Just keep moving forward, one step at a time, one day at a time, and we'll continue to grow into the person that we've always wanted to be. And so We just got to put the work in. And then with this change in this season right now, even though it was sad, because sometimes changes are sad. I think both of us we're both smiling today through a couple of different scenarios, and I can laugh about it, even though sometimes it's not funny.
The other thing I want to say to all of you, I am so ready to take you on. So if you are ready to be inspired to make changes in your life, whether it's through relationships, through your job, finding your midlife happiness, I'm here for you to help coach you through that journey. You can reach me at lisasander.com. I got my calendar up. Check me out. You can talk to me for a free session, and so I can get to know you and we can see if we are a match. I'd love for you to do that. Ryan, I want them to check you out in your book if you want to give some information.
Yeah, like a handful of things is you bringing all that up. And yeah, definitely check Lisa out, at lisasander.com or any of the social media. Lisa Sander is at 21 on some of the stuff nowadays, just
Yeah.
because there's so many cool Lisa Sanders out there.
Mhm.
But anyways, looking at the calendar, October, and then by the time this airs, you'll already have heard from Tom Pfanner, Dads Who Lead, or the Dad Who Leads. But the 9th through the 13th of October, Bend, Oregon, Lisa and I'll be out there with Tom and his folks, and we're putting on a retreat there with Tom. And so super excited. Bend, Oregon, gorgeous. If you've never been there, certainly going to be a great weekend to spend some time together and work on all the things that we want to continue to work on in our lives. And then in the end of October, more details to follow, but out in Scottsdale, Arizona, Lisa and I'll be doing our first retreat, and super excited to pair up with who we love at Broadcast Your Authority with that and the retreat that we're going to do out there, and having folks on our podcast here. So super excited that we'll be having, people in person as part of the retreat coming on the show, and it's going to be great. But yeah, getting back to book one, God Only Knows Where the Devil Comes for You, A Second Chance at Life's out. It's at barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, Walmart. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of all the different countries it's out and about. So wherever you're at in the world, listen to us, plug in to where you would buy a book, and you can get it. And then book two, The Icarus Effect, The Highs and Lows of Our Emotions. We all do have feelings, is out now, pre-order, and it's on all those same places. And when it comes to social media, it's either Ryan T. Reichert or Army RT 1978 on any of the social media under the sun. I even have a TikTok account now. So I'm part of one of those folks out there. I know my kids love TikTok, and we'll see what happens there. And yeah, but super blessed, super excited. And anything else, Lise?
Subscribe and share to Our Healer, Our Protector on YouTube. And we're on Instagram, but check the YouTube one out and subscribe and share with your friends. And we are here to help you. So reach out to us. We will be your biggest cheerleaders and help you find your happiness.
Absolutely. And two other things I was just thinking about as you said that. Yeah, like it, and also comment. Let us know like what you think, what you want to see different. If you disagree, even there's nothing wrong with that. Like, because we're all human, and we're all here just to communicate and love each other, be kind, and so on and so forth. But yeah, definitely just want to continue to get to know the world. And yeah, that's about it.
Be kind today, smile, say hi to people, be patient in line, whether you're driving or in line. And just remember, when there's a pause in life and it frustrates you for you a little bit, say, no, thank you. Thank you for the pause, because maybe it stops you from an accident, or it stops you saying something out of your mouth that you should be saying because that person's already having a hard day. Be good for someone for that day. It's better off not saying anything and just smile or use words of encouragement. And we're excited to tell you what happens after Nashville and our things coming up. Check us out. Bye, you guys. Bye, y'all. We'll be in Nashville. Are you ready, Ron, to go to Nashville and kick your boots up?
Oh yeah, I got my cowboy boots. We're good. All right. See y'all.
Bye,
Love
y'all.
you.